Really pleased to be invited to participate here and connect with all of you. I'm the founder of XX Network. Invented mixing in the late 1970s. Launched DigiCash in the 1990s, that realized the first digital cash system in its own currency and also in several fiat currencies.
I'm Jim Dahlbehr. I've helped from the beginning as a co-founder, and my role is related to strategy, general management, finance, HR, operations, legal. I started out working at Morgan Stanley and Lehman Brothers, investment banks in NYC, after I went to Harvard University. Later I got an MBA from Yale University and worked at a Fortune 500 consumer products company in production and product management. My wife is from Los Angeles. So after I got married, I moved to Los Angeles and worked with internet and tech companies, and then starting working with David on voting technology, which has some of the same underpinnings to XX Network and the XX coin.
Richard Carbach. I'm an XX Network co-founder, cryptographer, and entrepreneur who has worked with David since 2005, first on voting systems and now on this project. I'm a principal independent contributor for XX Network.
Will Carter. Hi, I'm one of the 3 directors of the XX Foundation as well as one of the original co-founders of the project in 2016. I've performed a lot of different roles for the platform over the last 6 years, but focused primarily on the blockchain side of the project. With the foundation, my core responsibility is supporting the community and project through grants and other initiatives.
I am Benjamin Wenger. Engineer, systems architect, co-founder, and the chief engineer at XX Network. I went to school for electrical engineering and have worked with David since 2013 on a variety of projects.
I'm Keith Millett. I provide technical support for node operators primarily via the XX Network Discord channel.
Hi. XX Messenger seems to be your favorite app right now. What are the developments in voice and video calls and coin transfer? Do you have a predicted date for the implementation of these works?
Our next few features will be support for payments and channels. We would love to hear your feedback on what you feel is most important. We expect to roll the first of these features out in the next few months. You can find details on how we plan to do payments here. And we also now have a doc on how channels will work here.
Does the project consider advising central banks for their digital currency work? Do you have any counseling done so far?
Yes, I'm actually working with a major central bank on a new private currency project, but it's not yet public. I strongly believe in digital cash, real digital cash, with real privacy, as a critical part of economic freedom and of democracy. As we all know the introduction, so I've championed and tried to help central banks understand the importance of privacy in CBDC implementations. I'm hoping that it will ultimately be a separate dApp project that uses XX Network.
Will we able to see XX Coin enter the top 5 ranking as market cap until 2025-2026?
We can't make public predictions on the performance of the XX coin. We definitely have strong technological strengths and fill a unique hole in the Web3 ecosystem that is sorely needed to make Web3 successful.
In order to understand the importance of privacy, do you think the number of traders and users who were insufficient in the DigiCash period is sufficient for XX Network?
DigiCash needed to be implemented as a centralized digital currency as there really were no peer-to-peer networks and bandwidth and internet adoption was poor, so there weren't that many people online around the world. Hundreds of merchants were live using eCash and large banks, like Deutsche Bank, offered digital eCash, but there was no, and really couldn't be at that time, decentralization and adoption by actual people worldwide. That's why centralized credit cards became predominant. Things changed as the internet matured and the GUI support the World Wide Web brought people around the world online. You can think of BTC as a decentralized implementation of eCash/digital currency after Skype, Napster, and others introduced decentralized networks and after POW was developed originally to address the challenge of email spam.
When will BTC transfer be possible with XX Messenger?
About BTC payments, as Ben said above, it is on our roadmap. Yes.
XX Coin made an ICO more than 2 years ago. Although the bull period passed, there was no listing. Why was waited so long? Additionally, we are currently in a bear market. Don't you considered listing during the bull period? Thank you.
2 years is really not an unusual timeline for a project, and it is an impressive timeline for one with our ambitious goals. Unfortunately, you cannot time the markets, and we didn't launch mainnet until the end of 2021, which was near the end of the last bull run. Right now we're focused on the long-term success of the platform.
You may have made a very good and unique product, but if you haven't marketed enough, it won't make sense and haven't reached enough users. What does XX Coin do for marketing? What are its priorities?
Our focus to date has been on our community. We have been careful and conservative about following rules and regulations around marketing, and we have also spent a lot of time making sure that people hear about us, but also not making claims that are exaggerated. We are a legitimate project and we want to look like it. We are looking to better advertise our project moving forward, but there are a lot of unseen challenges we are working through at this time.
Do you have an app like XXVIP in your plans?
We have taken the approach of creating a privacy-focused platform where developers will create use-specific applications such as the many RFPs our X Foundation has released in the past few months. Taking the approach of a general 6pi end service has inherent security and privacy risks that we decided were not in the best interests of our technology and vision for personal data security and privacy.
We know that quantum and privacy are your most sensitive point. We understand this because BTC and ETH transfers can be made anonymously via XX Messenger. But I think governments are against such transfers of privacy. Wouldn't this cause XX Messenger to get into trouble in the future? How do you plan to overcome this situation?
While token transfers cannot be hidden on these networks, XX Messenger will allow you to use anonymous pseudonyms. This should protect most users, complying with regulations while providing control over your digital sovereignty.
Quantum privacy is a great feature. Is it easy to integrate with public institutions as XX Network? For example, can we integrate patient privacy and patient information privacy in the healthcare system?
Yes, and in fact we would be interested in hearing about and giving a grant to any projects interested in providing such an integration. The XX Network would be a perfect tool for private healthcare messaging. The XXTK is ready, with even better docs coming next week, for integration into just about anything imaginable.
Will there be a wallet app integrated into the XX Messenger app? Messages sent via XXC Mix can be messages or coins. When BTC and Ethereum integration is completed, will we be able to store XX and other coins on XX Messenger?
The XX Messenger is an open platform, and we are planning a system that will allow any wallet to integrate with the messenger, which will provide pseudonym anonymity to any coin or token the wallet can support. You can find the details here.
Could you please explain what technology stands behind XX Coin? What does Elixir bring to blockchain industry different and unique? Why XX Coin is better than existing one?
I would take a look at the intro to the recent economics post we just published. In short, We've built the most private and decentralized communications platform in the world, and the XX coin is the way you access and govern that platform, as well as being one of the most secure and efficient cryptocurrencies on the market. The XX Messenger is also the first E2E encrypted messenger that is quantum secure, protects your social graph, and is uncensorable.
What is the biggest feature that distinguishes XX from other L1s? Is it just that it's quantum resistant? For example, in what way is it different from projects such as Avalanche, Ethereum and Solana?
If I were to summarize quickly, I would say XX has quantum security, scalable consensus, and the CMIX anonymity layer. Outside the technical advantages, the biggest feature that distinguishes us from others is that we are building an open, interoperable platform for privacy and anonymity. We plan to integrate, as much as possible, with every chain. Our goal is to secure society and not just computers.
One of the biggest fears is that quantum cryptography could break classical encryption that underpins financial stability and the global economy, and I wonder that how you prevent this situation. Thanks in advance.
We share the same fear, which is why we considered it across all aspects of our design. We are confident that we can provide the protection needed after quantum computers are able to break cryptography.
The arrival of quantum risks seems to exceed the 2030. Why we should buying XX now? During this time, which side of crypto do you intend to prioritize, not just quantum? Will you have incentive program plans to develop apps in your infrastructure?
Quantum security in the context of private communications needs to be addressed now, whether quantum computers come in 3 years or 30 years. There are known efforts to gather encrypted messages now so that they can be broken in the future. The NSA, according to Snowden, captures all messages and saves them. Quantum security in the context of payments is less known. From a recent article on the arrival of quantum computing, the threat to confidentiality is obvious. Quantum computers will be able to decrypt not only currently transmitted data but also data that has already been recorded and stored. We know that quantum computing is progressing extremely fast, and adopting quantum cryptography is difficult for centralized institutions like banks, and even harder for decentralized platforms like blockchains. It's much better to start with the best security than it is to try and adopt it and change all the wallets, exchanges, apps, and tools in the future. Post-quantum crypto is not our only focus though. We're working to build efficient and performant decentralized computing and payments infrastructure generally, and in the context of supporting our private communications platform. To this end, the XX Foundation has announced significant grants for developers to build apps and dApps on the XX network.
Apart from exchange news, are bilateral agreements waiting for us?
Unfortunately, we cannot talk about or speculate about any in-progress agreements. We have learned that there is too much risk that a deal doesn't materialize, or that talking about it makes the deal fall through.
Apart from the known methods, the studies that will promote the XX network, and what could be done to reach a larger audience.
The range of our ongoing marketing is always expanding. The methods that we are focusing on now are social media style engagement through YouTube, Twitter, and others, as well as traditional interviews like podcasts and digital print. The community-based incentive program for marketing that is backed by the Council and the Foundation shows the direction of our marketing efforts. David, and other co-founders, as you may know, are also traveling again to do conference meetings in live settings around the world. One of the upcoming conferences is actually in Türkiye, so we are very excited that David is planning to be there.
This is the most reacted message in TG Group. Was addressed mostly to Will. I'll just copy it here. Few questions to you or any team member about general XX strategy. We do not talk about money as you have enough of it. 1. Who and why made decision to list 7 months after TGE? Circulation increased 2 times since TGE. Lots of OTC speculations which were really bad.
In large part, we don't make the decision on when to list. Major exchanges look at a lot of factors to decide on listing a project, including coin holders, venture capital backing, project potential, and community. The team avoided large VC backing and never did in widespread ICO, so I think major exchanges were keen to see how the community grows once the coin is finally tradable. A lot of preference is given to projects who can bring the most new users to the exchange. The XX network also has a native coin, and that can lead to 6+ month development queues for listings where ERC20 coins can get listed more or less instantly, regarding the time between mainnet and listing. The XX network has many US co-founders, and as a result, we've had to negotiate legal issues to protect the project from risk of US regulators coming after the projects. We committed to only listing with the native XX coins at first to support the security of our NPS consensus and also governance and community participation. We also wanted to do a consumer launch of the messenger prior to listing. So though other projects might have just listed a wrapped coin after mainnet, we had more significant goals.
Are you happy with current community engagement? As I see, not many new people are here and in Discord. 600 ppl are online in this channel. That's pretty low. Reactions in Discord also show super low engagement.
I think that we have a lot of room for improvement with regards to community engagement, and bringing in CryptoWell and Robbie were important steps in that direction, and I think they've done a great job so far. We are constantly looking for new ways to attract people to the community. We have David doing interviews and talks regularly, we're publishing articles and content, we're publishing breakthrough research, and we've created an incentivization scheme for the community to help promote the platform. Not having a way to participate has traditionally made growing the community difficult, especially in the crypto space. Attention spans are short and the space is constantly churning, so if people can't purchase the coin, they generally won't have a stake in the game and won't participate in the communities. Once we're listed, that friction goes away. We have always had a stronger core community, notably a Discord group that was, only a while ago, as big as Telegram. And BTW, the engagement we have has always been pretty high. A critical issue has been, we haven't had tens of thousands of traders on our community sites.
Messenger. Reveal us the numbers of everyday unique users, downloads amount. Are you satisfied with these numbers?
I don't have access to these numbers, but maybe Ben can give them. I personally won't be satisfied until Elixir is the most used messenger in the world.
Who is in charge of listings? MEXC is not much different as Satex. It is free exchange which lists every token. Do you think that the first exchange for XX should be MEXC? It has 1500 tokens and low volume. It is literally tier 2, 3 exchange, especially to start with.
Getting a tier 1 exchange is much easier as a secondary listing than as a first listing. MEXC is not our end goal. That being said, I don't think Satex is remotely close to the same as MEXC in terms of volume, marketing, nor user base.
Do you allow suggestions and feedback from the community? Are we allowed in decision making? Do you put community into consideration?
Yes, and there is a democracy component that is very active and community-driven. We also poll our community regularly in Discord and the XX forum.
What is the top-level application in XX network for you? Voting system or another one?
Personally, I am really interested in shielded help and how we can allow people to safely access services. I know David is very interested in how voting over the network can change the world. There isn't just one way that XX network will help humanity, that is why it is so incredible.
In far future, can video call, conference possible in XX Messenger? Is it technically possible?
We have a plan for audio calling. Although it is a ways off. Video is harder, but nothing is impossible.
I would like to ask this question specifically to the father of cryptography and blockchain. Do you personally expect a large-scale quantum attack within 5 years that will alarm the governments?
I am a cryptographer, not a fortune teller. That said, there seems to be quite a wide range of predictions out there. There were people saying 3 years, and now there are people saying 5 years or 2030. For sure there has been billions of dollars of investment by corporations and governments, and there have been a number of incontrovertible scientific breakthroughs. It's definitely happening. This is not some sort of made-up buzz. But even if it were 30 years off, you need to protect your message content now, like the US government mandated. Old messages can be stored and decrypted at a bad actor's leisure, when they have the technology ready in the future. Also, historically governments have not revealed their cryptanalytic capabilities even at the expense of civilian lives, such as similar situations during the Second World War. Please keep in mind that at XX Network, we are doing our very best to build technology that will protect us, to the best of our knowledge and capability, against all attack vectors that may come against our personal private data, and the network itself, now and in the future. This has been an issue very dear to my heart for decades.
Are there any projects that you see as competitors to XX Network? There are so many blockchain networks and similar networks in the ecosystem right now. Did you think that one or more of these could compete with the XX network?
There are a few other projects which use a mixnet, and there are privacy coins using different privacy techniques. There is no project that we're aware of that integrates a high-speed privacy protection layer using pre-computation, with the quantum secure blockchain creating a platform capable of supporting messaging, payments, store of value and data transfer. We definitely also distinguish ourselves with the project's commitment to delivering utility on modern smartphones that meets consumer performance expectations. Messaging with integrated payments with quantum security on a decentralized blockchain at the speeds of typical centralized apps is not easy to do. The network is much faster in practice and can provide privacy features that enhance other privacy coins as well as provide pseudonymous privacy to other networks, where it didn't exist before.